Player of the week. And he believes that if he wins again today, maybe he can stake a claim to the starting quarterback position for the New England Patriots. The incumbent in that job, Hugh Miller, is not on the active roster for today's game. Jets will kick the football off from right to left on your screen. Deep to receive for the Patriots are Walter Stanley, number 81, and Jon Vaughn, number 24. And there is Louis Aguiar, the regular punter, who kicks the football off for the Jets. Rain has fallen intermittently throughout the morning, and right now about as heavy a downpour as we have had. And of course here at Foxborough Stadium we have a grass field. It should get soft and muddy as the game goes on.
It will change the complexion of this game. Coming into the game, the focus was on these two quarterbacks and how well they're able to throw the ball. But I think with the field conditions the way they are, it's going to really, the determining thing is going to be which team is able to run the ball. And I think when you think about that, I think the Jets have a little bit of an edge in that area.
Jets have been averaging about 160 yards rushing over the course of the past 4 games. The Patriots have had only 2 100-plus yard rushing games as a team this year. But one of them was last week at Indianapolis, as one of the heroes of that victory was young Jon Vaughn. Got his first start at tailback in place of the injured Leonard Russell and had a big game, 16 carries for 88 yards. Now Vaughn is on the right of your screen as the potential kickoff returner here. Walter Stanley to the bottom. And here's Aguiar with teammates flowing to the left behind him. He kicks it to Stanley in that corner of the end zone, and Walter Stanley will down the football. And here is 6'5", 222-pound first-year player Scott Zolak. His play helped to set up that game-winning field goal by Charlie Bauman in the Hoosier Dome a week ago. And that is when the celebration began for Zolak and Dante Scarnecchia, the special teams coach. There's a look at Zolak's father, who was there in the Hoosier Dome to watch last week and arrives again today, this time along with his wife, Daryl Zolak, and Scott's sister, making it a threesome as they brave the conditions here in Foxborough Stadium to watch Scott in his second NFL start. On first down, the football is getting to Jon Vaughn, and Vaughn gets outside across the 40 to the 43-yard line. A 23-yard pickup on first down for Vaughn and the Patriots, and that energizes the crowd.
Leonard Russell, a former #1 pick, is not playing today, but Jon Vaughn, an excellent cutback runner, here finds the hole outside and then turns on the speed. Watch at the end of this run, a nice hurl move here to pick up that extra yardage, and the Patriots get off to a big start here in Foxborough.
James Hasty was the man who was closest to Vaughn when he finally went down. But in truth, the Jets seemed a little reluctant to tackle him on the first play from scrimmage. Number 44 is John Stevens. Once the heart of the Patriot running game, now employed more as a blocking fullback, but Stevens on first down gets a pickup of 3. Offensive line for the Pats reshuffled after the loss of all-pro offensive tackle Bruce Armstrong. Pat Harlow moving from the right side to the left side. Eugene Chung taking over at right tackle. He's the first-round rookie out of Virginia Tech. Zolak, Vaughn, Stevens, Irving Fryer, Greg McMurtry, and Pro Bowl tight end Marv Cook are the skill position players for the Pats. Michael Timpson on the field now, number 83. Brings a 3-wide receiver set for the Patriots on second down and 7 yards to go. And Zolak gives to Vaughn, a little bit of a draw play, and Vaughn is across midfield, across the Jet 40, and down to about the 36-yard line before again the left side corner, James Hasty, ran him out for the Jets. 17-yard pickup.
The way that you keep pressure off a young quarterback is you get out there and you're able to run the ball. Here you see Jon Vaughn following his blocking, gets to the outside, and now turns on the speed. They have found a budding star here in New England in Jon Vaughn, an excellent runner. We talked to him yesterday, and he said that, you know, in this situation where they lost all these games, it's so different for him because when he was at Michigan, they were always picked to win. So he's adjusting to all of a sudden now losing a lot of games, but adjusting very well, as you can see now.
Evan Turner, rookie out of Alabama, joins Vaughn in the backfield for the Patriots on first down. And Vaughn has a pickup of about 4 before Lonnie Young makes the stop from his free safety position for the Jets. Front seven for the Jets, reshuffled after the loss near the beginning of the season of Jeff Lageman, their best player. But Marvin Washington, filling in for Lageman, has been terrific. Veteran linebackers Houston, Clifton, the second-year man Mo Lewis, who has moved to the weak side this year. Bruce Coslett thinks he has an outstanding secondary in Brim, Hasty, Washington, and Young. Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, with the pieces in place, he believes, for the future for the Jets. They'd like to find one more impact defender, perhaps a linebacker or a lineman.
The clock running.
As we have a little bit of a problem with the clock, Dale Hammer.
Then please shut it off.
Dale Hammer talking to the stadium announcer. Is the clock working? And him speaking back to him over the stadium speakers.
A public dialogue between the referee and the stadium public address announcer.
I think that's everybody is informed. They know what's going on. But now, talking about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll told us yesterday that what he wanted to do was put a lot of pressure on Zolak. He felt like when Zolak played against the Colts last week, the defense didn't pressure him. He wants to give Zolak all kinds of different looks, all kinds of different blitzes, and he figures that sooner or later this young quarterback's got a crack, and by putting a lot of pressure on him, that's what he can do. It's not going to work if New England is still able to run the ball, because therefore all Zolak does is have to hand the ball off.
Zolak got a little bit of a free ride against the Colts, who played without Steve Empman and Quentin Coriat and Dwayne Bickett, arguably their three best defenders outside of Chip Banks and Jeff Arad. On second down, 7, Zolak, his first throw of the game, completes it. Mike Brim on the coverage. 9-yard pickup for Greg McMurtry. And another first down for the Patriots, who have come out with a good offensive scheme.
Scott Zolak is a very confident young man. You see him here waiting on one receiver to try to find him open and then firing the ball. Really has a strong arm and hits Greg McMurtry, a player who had a couple of big plays last week. And I was talking to the coaches yesterday, saying McMurtry is a big play receiver that can catch the ball and run with it after the catch.
Only one touchdown this year. It was a 65-yarder catch and run just before halftime, a key play in the victory over the Colts last week. On first down, Jon Vaughn again gets the call and slips through tackles inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for Vaughn, another first down for the Pats. Lonnie Young made the stop for the New York Jets.
Jon Vaughn able to pick his holes. Here, just a quick hitting play to the middle. Watch him pick his hole to the right, runs through one arm tackle, makes the spin, and then fires it forward. Just excellent running by Jon Vaughn. And this is feeding this New England team. They have a quarterback who is so enthusiastic, and the team picks right up on that.
Vaughn on this drive, 59 yards rushing individually on only 4 carries. Look to Scarnecchia. And this time it is Stevens, and Stevens gets outside and goes into the end zone. Beating Brian Washington to the goal line, Don Stevens pays off an 80-yard game-opening drive for the Patriots with a 13-yard touchdown run.
And where that will pay dividends is in the confidence of Scott Zolak, able to use his running backs and his running game to take the ball all the way down the field. And excellent running by these running backs, John Stevens and Jon Vaughn. Just excellent misdirection plays. They're able to find the hole, hit it, and take the ball up the field.
Charlie Bauman hit the game-winning field goal and the game-tying field goal last week against Indianapolis. And he nails the extra point. And with a stunning 80-yard opening drive, almost all of it on the ground, the Patriots lead 7-0. Up after the 13-yard touchdown run that paid off a 4-minute, 40-second, 80-yard drive for the Patriots to open the game. Only the second rushing touchdown of the season for New England, and it gives them a 7-0 lead. Eric McMillan is at the goal line for the Jets. Terrence Mathis kneeling in front of him as New York awaits the kickoff from Bauman and the Patriots.
A very excellent play on that touchdown run by the Patriots. When we see it again, you'll see the right guard and the right tackle, Larry Williams and Eugene Chung, pull and make key blocks in this touchdown run, and great running by John Stevens. Here's the replay. If you watch the right guard and the right tackle, number 75, Larry Williams, first on Washington, nice block, and watch this block on Eugene Chung on Mo Lewis, puts him right on the ground, and all of a sudden, Stevens is out and off to the races.
That would be the Patriots' version of the time-honored counter tray.
Counter tray. Probably called something different here, but still a counter tray nonetheless.
Hey, a counter tray by any other name is still a counter tray. In our lexicon. And now it's Mathis at the goal line and McMillan in front of him. And Bauman kicks it off for the Patriots, enjoying the early 7-0 lead. Terrence Mathis, who scored on a reverse last week, gets it back only to the 17-yard line. Ben Coates downfield to make the tackle for the Patriots. And here comes Browning Nagel onto the field. And we welcome those of you who have been watching Miami's field goal victory over the Houston Oilers as the Dolphins stay on pace behind the Bills in the AFC East. And you look at two other AFC East teams here, and the early score is 7-0. The New England Patriots took the opening kickoff and went 80 yards, mostly on the running of Jon Vaughn. Got a 13-yard touchdown run from John Stevens to cap the drive and leads 7-0. Browning Nagel's numbers in front of you. He has not had a terrific year in his first season as the QB starter for the Jets. On first down, number 30, Brad Baxter gets the call. You will see a lot of Baxter if conditions continue like this today. It is raining and has been raining most of the morning at Foxborough Stadium. Randy Robbins made the tackle for the Patriots.
One more look at the touchdown run by John Stevens. This is just the way they write him up on the board. We will show it to you
eventually,
momentarily.
The pickup was 9 on first down. Moore and Mathis are double wide receivers to the top on second down 1. Let's see if Nagel tries to take a shot on the opportunity down. Instead, he gives to Baxter, and Baxter gets the safe first down out to about the 28-yard line.
This is the way they draw him up. Number 75 with a nice block. Number 69 with a pancake on Mo Lewis. And then John Stevens breaking it to the outside, right to the corner of the end zone. Just a wonderful executed play by the New England Patriots. And this man here, John Stevens, has been a star in this league. He hasn't had good years the last couple, but he is certainly playing well today.
Coach Scarnecchia says that John Stevens deserves a lot of credit for adjusting his role on the team and learning to be primarily a blocker in front of running backs like Russell and Ball. First down for the Jets. The ball now out close to the 29. Looks like a busted play, and Nagel takes a hit as the result. Andre Tippett, number 56, there to say hello along with Brent Williams. And here's the offensive line for the Jets. Jeff Criswell making his 70th consecutive start. Gadigan, Sweeney, White, and Eatman. Eatman in only his second year has become a real leader for the football team. Skill positions, Nagel, Freeman McNeil starting at running back today in place of Blair Thomas, who is out with a hip flexor injury. Thomas inactive and out of uniform on the sideline.
Thomas also with a bad groin, and in a situation like this where it is slippery, the chance of re-injuring that hip and that groin are so high that it's better let him sit this game out and try to get that thing well.
And one running back for the Jets, and Criswell, who had a couple of key flags last week in the Jets' victory over Cincinnati, draws an early flag here.
Number 69 of the offense.
Emotion is such a dangerous thing. And in the National Football League, it's something that you can't draw on every single week. But it's obvious that if you watch the New England Patriots, they are so charged up that the Jets are going to have to try to take this emotion away from them, or they're going to be in trouble. They are really fired up from their win from last week and also from the first drive of this game.
On second down, 15 yards to go now. Nagel with time goes short to number 24, Freeman McNeil, and McNeil has it on half the distance back. Vincent Brown, leading tackler for the Patriots, number 59, there to make the stop for New England. There is a look at the front seven for the New England defense. The anchor man, of course, is Tippett, who for a decade has been one of the best linebackers in the league. Though Vincent Brown, from his inside linebacker position, is the leading tackler on the team. Secondary, Poole, Hurst, Gordon, and Robbins. Poole had an interception return for a touchdown early against the Colts last week. Johnny Rembert, coming back from a foot injury, is expected to be able to play some today for New England at his inside linebacker position. On third down, Nagel under pressure gets away from Ray Agnew and almost picks up first down yardage, but no. He'll fall about 4 or 5 yards short. Dwayne Sabb, number 95, was the rookie linebacker from whom Nagel could not get away in the flat.
And this is what Browning Nagel brings to this team. Very good mobility, but he's not able to find anybody downfield to throw the ball, so he just tucks it under his arm and starts running. But now, if you remember what I just said about that emotion, this New England team is really fired up.
Sabb and Tippett together making the tackle. And Louis Aguiar comes on to kick it away for the Jets. Aguiar's punt will fall to the turf as Walter Stanley elects not to touch it. Good coverage downfield for the Jets. And now finally, number 36, who is coming over to grab the football. And Burkett is downfield to cover it for the Jets. They're going to call it down at the 31. We'll be back. Bring you back to Foxborough Stadium in New England, where the Patriots have a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. And Ahmad already signs that the Patriots hold the emotional edge here early.
Without question. I mentioned earlier that it's something that you can't draw on every single week, but I think having won last week, they're so fired up and excited about winning. They come into this game really fired up, and if the Jets can't do anything, they're going to have a tough time handling this team.
First down, Stevens is wrapped up for no gain. A tentative effort by the Patriots after they were so assertive. First time a charm. All of the New England quarterbacks listed here won their very first starts in a Patriot uniform. Plunkett, Grogan, Eason, Flutie, Hugh Millen, and now Zolak. The pattern shows that in every instance previous to this, those quarterbacks lost their second games as starters. Will Zolak follow the pattern today? Well, he's a 7-0 leader early. And it may be too early, Ahmad, to talk about this man's influence on the team, but they say he is a very emotional type whose energy flows to his teammates.
It really helps when you have a quarterback, a backup quarterback, comes in and takes charge. When you have a timid quarterback, next thing you know, the entire team becomes timid, and that is not what Jon Vaughn is, timid at all, because he is just attacking this Jet defense for big chunks of yardage.
Jon Vaughn, who got his first start last week against Indianapolis, seizing the running back job as though he wants it forever.
He follows his blocking very well. He just lets his front line fire out, and then he picks a hole. You know, one of the interesting things was talking to Zolak was he said he was comfortable being the third-team quarterback and realized that you can't lose your starting job because of an injury. But he said that he's not so comfortable with that position now after having won a game, and he figures that if he can win a game again today, then he should be the starting quarterback next week.
After the 7-yard pickup by Vaughn, it's third down, 3 at the 37. Patriots have converted 35% of their third downs, and they'll get this one. Good, careful throw from Zolak to Marv Cook. Cook, with his 40th catch of the year, leads the Pats in that category.
Zolak here with a little bit of a problem on the snap, but not much. He's looking for Marv Cook the entire time. And Marv Cook is one of these excellent tight ends that doesn't have to be wide open. He goes down and bounces off people, and he's got great hands. And when you're a quarterback looking for a confidence builder, the person you want to throw the ball to is your tight end.
And Zolak has such a strong arm, he has no fear throwing to the sideline. So it is first down New England now at their 41. Flag down as Jon Vaughn tries to pick his way around the left side and is wrapped up, this time by the right side of the Jet defense.
As this field becomes more muddy in the middle, the advantage goes to the offense because they can just drive block and get on the defensive player, and the defensive player is not able to make any sort of reaction, which gives the running back a chance to just pick a hole and go.
Penalty call is against the Patriots. So the Jets will have a chance to choose between 2nd and 9 and 1st and 15.
The Jets wanting to put New England.
Illegal motion. Number 80. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
They wanted to put New England in a situation where Zolak had to have the pressure on him to throw the ball. But as long as Zolak is able to mount a drive on the ground, it takes all the pressure off of Zolak and forces the Jets to sort of alter their plan.
Zolak in the air so far, 2 for 2 for 12 yards. And they call it 2nd down 10 after no gain on 1st down by Vaughn. Play fake. Zolak down the middle to Vaughn. Vaughn gets away from a tackler. Across the Jet 40 to the 30-yard line. Again, a flag is down as Jon Vaughn completes a 39-yard play from scrimmage. James Hasty making the stop for the Jets.
We may have had a New England player blocking while the ball was in the air. Not the case. Here is the play pass by Scott Zolak, who fakes to Vaughn going up the middle. Vaughn just staying there. That's his safety valve right there. Now, this is the run. Vaughn's showing incredible speed here. Just picks it up and almost goes the distance.
Reminiscent of the play he made.
Number 40 of the defense. Penalties decline. 1st down.
Holding against James Hasty declined. Vaughn made a similar run with a catch over the middle on the next to last play of the game last week against Indianapolis to set up Bauman's game-winning field goal. Almost got it into the end zone, stopped at the 1. Dante Scarnecchia said he had no second thoughts about sending Bauman on and kicking the field goal immediately. 1st down 10 now. Over 30, and John Stevens takes Zolak's pass inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. A 14-yard pickup, another 1st down for New England, and Scott Zolak remains perfect in the air.
I love this enthusiasm by Scott Zolak. He's enjoying playing this game. And we must say, Dick Corey, the offensive coordinator here, excellent game plan. Excellent game plan. Finds John Stevens out here. He's isolated on a linebacker. There's always a mismatch. And here comes Zolak. You think this guy's not having fun? He's having a good time out there.
Hey, if you celebrate that well, who needs champagne, right? 1st and 10 with the ball at the 18 to give the Vaughn on the draw, and a good play by number 57, Mo Lewis. He's the man who was pancaked by the Chung block on Stevens' touchdown run. Has a big responsibility in the Jets' defense and upheld it there.
Well, Mo Lewis, to be fair to Mo Lewis, he's playing a different position this year. In the past, he was always the strong side linebacker. They moved him over to the weak side, and he said he's learning. There's so many different things that he has to learn with that position, and he doesn't have a chance to take his time learning. He's learning as they go. So he said what he's trying to do is just play more with his instincts. It's a very tough situation to go from one side to the other after you've been comfortable playing that side your entire career.
2nd down now and 13 yards to go after the 3-yard loss on 1st down. Zolak again with time now rolls out, and 1st incompletion of the game for Zolak as Irving Fryer was unable to hold on downfield.
There you see Zolak finding a secondary receiver, something that usually rookie quarterbacks aren't able to do. But you see Fryer, just a little drag pattern where you come underneath the defense. He's wide open, but this is a pattern that you need to slow down, because a lot of times that ball is not thrown on stride. You just want to settle in underneath the defense so that if it's thrown behind you, you're still able to make the catch. Irving Fryer, so excited about this game because the last time he played against the Jets, he said he had a career day and couldn't wait for today.
8 catches, 165 yards, 2 TDs for Fryer on October 4 when they played for the first time. Jets are looking to throttle him today. Now 3rd down 13. Zolak out of the pocket. Needed to get the football down to about the 8-yard line. He stopped at the 14. Mo Lewis again with the tackle. and New England will send the field goal unit on to try to stretch it to 10-0. Early in the game, but already that was a moment for the Jets, Ahmad, because down 14-0, they don't come back too well against anybody, even a weak team like New England.
That's been their problem the entire year. They've been in a situation where they haven't been able to stay with their game plan because they've gotten behind early in ball games and then had to try to throw the ball too much. So a big play for the Jets, as you say, Jim, stopping them from scoring a touchdown and maybe coming out of this with just giving up the 3 points.
Charlie Bauman will get ready to try to nail the field goal. He was perfect 3 for 3 against Indianapolis. He nails the 32-yarder here. And with 19 seconds left in the first quarter, New England has a 10-0 lead. So far, quarterback Scott Zolak in his second NFL start, near perfect. 4 of 5 in the air for 55 yards. Charlie Bauman kicks it off for New England. Eric McMillan and Terrence Mathis deep for the Jets. It's a shallow kick to the 13-yard line. Mathis comes to the middle of the field and breaks free out to the 29-yard line before he is tackled by Jerome Henderson. And the Jets, a courageous story, his emotional return to Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday at noon on NBC's NFL Live. First down 10 for the New York Jets. Their 29-yard line, trailing 10-0. Potentially the last play of the first quarter. Brad Baxter tries to get to the outside and does so for a pickup of about 5. He'll run out of bounds and stop the clock. So there will be one more play in the first quarter, and a flag is down as Tim Gordon knocks Baxter out of bounds.
And Andre Tippett very upset on that play. He was the one that was held against the Jets for quite a while.
Well, if you're going to hold a Patriot, hold somebody else besides Tippett.
Because he's a black belt in karate and could do some harm.
Number 80, on the run, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It was tight end Mark Boyer who was called for the hold. I was thinking about the fact that he's the most respected Patriot defender, and therefore the one whom the officials are most likely to believe in a situation like that.
If I'm playing against him, I certainly, in the back of my mind, know that he's a black belt in karate also.
First quarter comes to a close with the Patriots leading 10-0. We'll be back. Trailing 10-0 against the Patriots. Nagel on first down and 10 gives to Baxter. And Baxter, now almost individually carrying the Jet running game, has a pickup of about 4. And there's a look at Rob Moore, now the center of the Jets passing game, as Al Toon has been put on the injured reserve list after having sustained what is believed to have been the 9th concussion of his NFL career. Moore now with an 88 on his right sock to remind him of his good buddy Toon, who is at home probably watching the game today, and some of our thoughts, Ahmad, as well as those of his teammates, surely with Al Toon.
Yeah, he so much respect from all these players about Al Toon. He was the guy that set the tone for all these receivers, an all-pro receiver, taught these guys how to run routes, excellent work habits, and, you know, now that he has this injury, I think sometimes injuries become the most. This injury is probably more important than him even thinking about playing football. We just hope that he gets better and does the right thing.
Yes, many suspecting that Toon might consider retirement at this juncture, though, of course, that remains to be seen. Look at Bruce Coslett from behind. The Jets staying on the ground there on second down 15, trying to come back from the holding penalty against the tight end, which had made it first and 20. And now, on third down 10, the Jets with 2 wide receivers, Moore and Mathis to the left. Nagel throwing underneath to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil is ridden out of bounds by Maurice Hurst, well short of first down yardage. So Browning Nagel played it safe, throwing into the flat, and left his team without a realistic chance of getting the first down. Louis Aguilar will come on to kick it away for New York. In a season of the unexpected, the latest totally unexpected statistic is this: total offense in the first quarter. Jets 21 yards, Patriots 136. You see that Aguilar's first punt was for 37 yards. Walter Stanley deep to receive for New England, standing at his 25-yard line.
Jim, one more point on Al Toon. I think the decision rests, there's been so much written in the New York press, the decision rests solely on Al Toon, not doctors, not team. This is something that he'll have to live with, and it's his own decision.
18-yard line is where Stanley takes the football. He gets it back across the 30 to the 32. 48-yard punt, 14-yard return. Good field position for the Patriots when we come back. It's 10-0 in the second quarter. Scott Zolak, in his second NFL start, 4 of 5 for 55 yards. He only played 1 year at Maryland, which has now become the premier quarterback feeding football program among America's universities.
You would never know that by the way he's playing so far in this football game. He is playing like a seasoned veteran with tremendous enthusiasm.
And he has the support of his family here. Paul Zolak. If Zolak becomes a big star in the NFL, incidentally, you'll hear this story 150 times. But allow us to be the second to tell you in a moment about his connection to Joe Montana. Jon Vaughn having a career day in a very brief career has another 9-yard gain. We go to Bob Costas in New York for an NFL Live update.
Also defensively, number 48, Brian Washington.
All right, Jim, the Raiders take a 10-0 lead at home over Denver. Here's Jay Schrader. Play action fake. Hits the former Grambling basketball player, Andrew Glover, for the 1-yard touchdown. The Broncos are without John Elway. He is suited up, but he's listed as third string, and Tommy Maddox is starting today at quarterback. Elway out with a bad shoulder. 10-0 Raiders.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Maddox starting for the Broncos today in L.A. Had he continued his college career on schedule, he might have started for UCLA last night against Southern Cal in the Rose Bowl. Instead, it was walk-on fifth-teamer John Barnes, who was the hero of the day in college football, with almost 400 passing yards for the Bruins. What a performance that was.
I didn't get involved in that because I was still celebrating the win by the mighty Fighting Oregon Ducks over Oregon State. That was a big one for me yesterday.
We know how that goes. Zolak looking deep for the first time and puts it out ahead of both Michael Timpson, the receiver, and Mike Brim, the cornerback.
A lot of talk about, as Bob mentioned, that that Elway injured. A lot of talk about the injuries to quarterbacks around the league. And I think that the players are just bigger, stronger, the fields are faster, quicker, and the collisions are so big that it's inevitable. I mean, you got a guy who's, you can't take that many licks during the course of a game and not get hurt. When we talked to Scott Zolak, when he was a third-team quarterback, he said he knew just the way this league goes that he was going to eventually get a chance to play.
Of course, if the pattern keeps up, you'll see more Scott Zolaks, 6'5", 220-plus pounds. Browning Nagel is another one like that. Jon Vaughn on second down gets the call in about 3 yards.
That certainly is the key, Jim. The quarterbacks nowadays are huge. I mean, when I first came in playing, anybody that size was either a linebacker or a tight end or somebody they beefed up and had him play offensive tackle. Now you have huge players playing quarterback because it's such a demanding physical position.
There's Hugh Millen, who is the incumbent #1 for New England, sitting out again today with what is described as a horrible left shoulder separation. He's another 6'5" quarterback, but couldn't prevent him from getting hurt this year. So did his backup, Tommy Hodson, out for the rest of the season. And on third down, Zolak looks to throw and delivers to number 86, Greg McMurtry, but this time McMurtry is about a yard short of the first down. Mike Brim there to cement McMurtry's position on the field, and Dante Scarnecchia, taking no chances, sends the punting unit on.
Scott Zolak looking for McMurtry down the left sideline and fires the ball. McMurtry, this is it's almost a cardinal sin for a wide receiver. You should always, on third down and long, know where the first down marker is and at least get that distance before you catch the ball. It's one of the things that you'll never hear the end of. You catch a ball and you come up 1 yard short. You got to run the route long enough to get the first down.
Sean McCarthy kicking away to Rob Carpenter. Patriots gave up a return touchdown last week to Clarence Verdun of the Baltimore, or the Indianapolis Colts, I should say. And flags are down, nullifying the punt before even it has a chance to land. Here's Dale Hamer.
Ball starts. Number 95, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
Some of that emotion boiling over here with the mental error there.
Yeah, that was Dwayne Sabb starting his motor just a little bit early. That's one.
That is one.
Made it into the second quarter. So McCarthy will punt it again from 5 yards farther back. Rob Carpenter deep for the Jets. Carpenter watches from his 10. McCarthy hits a bomb into the end zone. And the Jets will start from their 20. With 9:57 to go before halftime. New England still leading 10-0. Jets will have the football when we come back. At 10 minutes to 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, total darkness in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 9:57 to go in the half.
At this point, a little darker on the Jet sideline than it is on the New England sideline. They've been playing very good football so far.
New defensive front, the game for New England. Fred Smirlis, Tim Edwards, and Marion Hobby all on the field, replacing Agnew, Goad, and Williams. On first down, Nagel with the play fake, gets hit, but delivers, and it is picked off. Number 37, Maurice Hurst. So under pressure, Nagel tried to deliver to Rob Moore, and it was Vincent Brown who was there to put the hit on Nagel and force him to make the bad throw.
Brownie Nagel with the fake into the line, and Vincent Brown not buying it at all. Here you see Rob Moore running a route, but the ball is already in the air, and Hurst just makes a nice move to make the interception, but the interception was forced by Vincent Brown right here. That is what we were talking about earlier, about quarterbacks having to be able to take that physical punishment, but when you know you're going to get hit like that, you got to let the ball go.
Brown did the same thing to Jeff George a week ago. Hit George's arm as he was trying to throw. The ball popped into the air, and Chris Singleton took it 82 yards for a key TD. Patriots got 2 defensive touchdowns to win last week. May not need them this week the way they're playing. Reverse to Fryer. And Fryer slows down in the open field and is dropped for about a 2-yard loss. Mo Lewis staying home at weak side linebacker for the Jets.
Well, in this play, it just appeared that Irving Fryer got out in front of his blocking. Dick Corey told us they had this reverse. They could run it anywhere in the field. But see him, he's out in front of his blocker. Nobody in front of him. He's got to wait on that tackle to get out and sort of turn him back up the field. A pretty good play by the Jets. Mo Lewis being able to contain that and still come up and make the tackle. We will see another reverse, I guarantee you, before this game is over. It's one of their plays.
Obviously, no tackles for Mo Lewis. On second down 12, Zolak tosses over the middle, and Jon Vaughn makes the catch, and the football comes loose, and now they say it was incomplete all the way. It was not Vaughn, it was Stevens, number 44, I guess. The pass is ruled incomplete under either circumstance. Lonnie Young was the man there to make the hit for the Jets.
On incompletion, it'll be third down.
Once again,
12.
Scott Zolak,
It was Vaughn.
Line of scrimmage for
and they've just never had control of the ball.
Yes.
Pretty good call by the officials. In fact, it was a good call. It's either good or bad. That was a good call by the officials. Vaughn never having control of the ball. A moment ago, did you say that we would see Mo tackles by Mo Lewis?
I was trying that one on for size, and I didn't really commit to it.
I thought.
But now you put it out there, and that's what I said. Zolak out of the pocket, slides, already perfecting his NFL slide in only his second start. About a 4-yard pickup, and Kyle Clifton is the man with the empty honor of putting his hands on Zolak at the end of the slide.
Zolak doing a fine job of not being able to find the receiver. Usually when you find these young quarterbacks, they try to force the ball. If they can't find a receiver, they want to throw the ball down there anyway, which could turn into a turnover. But rather than throw it, Zolak puts it under the arm and takes off running.
And the crowd goes nuts with enthusiasm as clearly on 4th down, 8 yards to go, the Patriots appear ready to try for it rather than to punt the football away. Now New England calls timeout. As Zolak, perhaps not believing what he sees from Scarnecchia, decides that he had better go talk to the man who is the official team spokesman. They don't want to call him the acting head coach. They want to call him the official team spokesman while head coach Dick McPherson recuperates in a New England hospital from surgery following an bout with acute diverticulitis. Thursday, make NBC Sports part of your Thanksgiving Day festivities, and incidentally, there's an update score on Miami's conquest of Houston, 1916. And a look at the AFC Central standing, with Houston having dropped to 6-5, and Pittsburgh a winner with a 2-game lead now over the Oilers. So the Oilers are in playoff jeopardy and struggling. And his Lions, 12 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Don't miss it. 4th down, 8 yards to go. Pats have converted 5 of 12 fourth down tries on the season. Zolak out of the gun. 3 wide receivers. They'll make it 4 wideouts going downfield. All the time in the world, and Zolak delivers to number 85 tight end Marv Cook. And Cook is all the way inside the 10-yard line. Finally belted down by Lonnie Young, a 25-yard pickup, and the legend of Scott Zolak grows.
And it should grow, because this young man is having himself some fun. And right here, he's got a lot of time. You see him looking around, trying to find a receiver. We mentioned earlier that Marv Cook is one of the best at finding an opening spot as he spins back around, able to make the catch inside of Mo Lewis, and then runs it for another 7 or 8 yards. And Zolak saying, how about that? You like that?
Well, he's pointing to his dad, Paul Zolak. And as we told you, the Joe Montana story is going to come up 150 times a year if he becomes an NFL hero. But also Jon Vaughn with a touchdown. 9-yard TD for Vaughn. Patriots stretch the lead. Get the Paul Zolak story in. They're just too exciting.
He's making his own story here today, Jim. Jon Vaughn, excellent running, stretches his play all the way out to the sideline, and then turns it up the field. That's the way you run a sweep. You want to spread the defense out.
Charlie Bauman trying to add the extra point. And does. 7 minutes, 15 seconds still to go before the half. The stunned New York Jets find themselves trailing 17. Quarterback there. And Scott Zolak was the water boy, and therefore,
he got a ball from Joe Montana, and for good luck, he touches this ball 16 times before every game, and that gives him good luck.
Because he wears number 16.
Because he wears it.
When he was at Maryland, he rubbed it 13 times before every game.
I have rubbed it 45 times, and I feel the same.
And Joe Montana reputedly said to the young man, good luck, and I'll see you in the NFL. And now every chance exists for that. Here's Jon Vaughn.
This is the way you run a sweep. Watch him spread the defense all the way to the sideline and then break it back inside with great blocking by Marv Cook.
And John Stevens.
Who was the one who made this play possible. Watch Jon Vaughn stretch it all the way out to the sideline. Stevens seals the block. Marv Cook kicks the guy out, and Vaughn is in the end zone.
And that's the second time today we have seen textbook blocking on the sweep for Vaughn and the Patriots. And Vaughn is gone again. 9-yard TD run. 5-play, 38-yard drive. The key, of course, was the 4th down, 25-yard completion from Zolak to the tight end, Marv Cook. Now the Jets trail 17-0 at their 21. And this is a team that has trouble coming from behind. Baxter on 1st down has only a yard.
And the emotion continues to flow for the New England Patriots. And it's the same situation for Browning-Nagle as it was for Scott Zolak. You have got to establish a running attack to take the pressure off these young quarterbacks. And all of a sudden, the Jets have not been able to run the ball at all. They've only gotten 1 first down in the game to this point, which puts all the pressure on Nagle, who's going to have to throw the ball. He's going to have to throw it downfield.
Total dominance so far for the Patriots, perhaps what you should have expected in this year's topsy-turvy NFL. 2nd down, long count for Nagle. Almost certainly inaudible. You heard you saw the offensive linemen craning their necks. Nagle throws downfield, and it's picked off again. David Poole celebrating even as he runs it back. And Poole is across the 30 to the 28 before he's finally knocked out of bounds. So the Patriots have another scoring chance set up
ability to not force the ball. Browning-Nagel forced that ball in there. He's trying to hit Johnny Mitchell, the rookie tight end, and he's bracketed. You see Nagel trying to get the ball downfield, and there's a man in front and a man behind. Anytime that ball's tipped up, usually the player behind has an easy interception, and that's what happened. David Poole picks up an interception.
It was Eugene Lockhart, number 51, who tipped the ball and made it possible for Poole to pick it off. And there's Poole's celebration as he begins the run back.
David Poole with excellent speed runs a 4.340, which is just a shade slower than a speeding bullet, I would imagine. 4.3, I've never seen that.
First down 10 for Zolak and the Pats at the Jet 29. Stevens on first down, cradling the football carefully between both arms across the 25 to the 24.
This Patriot offensive line has had its problems during the course of the season, moving players all around, having players playing out of position. But today, they are really leaning on the jet front four and forcing holes and giving the running backs a place to run.
Against one of the better defensive fronts in the National Football League. Certainly, on paper, the best defensive front to be found on any 3-17. Patriots with a chance to really put the Jets in a difficult hole and to run plenty of the clock off before the end of the first half. That's what they're trying to do as Vaughn gets the call on second down, breaks 2 tackles inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Kyle Clifton finally making the stop for the uncertain, weak tackling Jet defense. 9-yard gain.
It was weak tackling, but excellent running by Jon Vaughn. This young man, watch these changes of speed. This is what makes you miss. Here comes Vaughn, just a little outside move. Now watch this move right here. That will make you miss. Now he turns it on and keeps powering forward for even more yardage. Just an excellent display of running by Jon Vaughn here today, and you see now why Jon Vaughn is the running back and put John Stevens at the fullback position.
Jon Vaughn had 88 yards last week on 16 carries in the game against Indianapolis. He's got 88 yards on 11 carries today. Double tight end, first down, into the end zone. Zolak overthrows number 87, Ben Coates. And he asks for the flag and gets it.
Conduct, 76 to the defense, half
Half
the distance to the goal.
the distance to the goal line. NFL officials, apparently aware that Zolak is destined to be a legend, responding immediately to his entreaty for a penalty, Ahmad.
It was a late call. They call it on number 76, but saying that the Jets don't have a number 76. Obviously, it was against Mark Gunn. A little unsportsmanlike conduct in Scott Zolak. I mean, there's nothing about him that reminds me of a rookie quarterback. The way he's carrying himself, the way he's in control of this offense, the way he is firing up his teammates. When you get a guy that's that fiery in the huddle, I guarantee you, it's just infectious. Everybody gets on that same wavelength.
Kevin Turner in the game at fullback ahead of Vaughn. Vaughn takes the pitch. It's a block from Turner and penetrates down to the 2-yard line. Marv Cook and Kevin Turner blocking the corner. Bobby Houston makes the touchdown-saving tackle for the Jets.
Jim, I just can't say enough about the way this man, watch him hit this hole. I mean, he's constantly putting pressure on the defense. Right now, he's going. Right now, as soon as he finds a little gap, he's hitting it and driving it forward. Just great running by Jon Vaughn, and excellent blocking also by the New England Patriots.
The numbers on Vaughn, close to 100 yards in the first half. Sam Gash, number 33, in the football game at running back for the first time. Double tight end with Cook and Coates. Jets bunch up to try to stop the thrust. And number 44, Stevens, has the football and pounds down near the goal line. Stevens was met in the air and stopped well outside the 1-yard line, but then was able to continue forward progress as he came down.
If you wonder how it sounds down there on the field, take a listen to this.
You listen to those collisions, you don't have many questions in your mind as to why the injury rate is what it is in the NFL.
Plus, down here, this is real football.
Third down goal. Stevens, TD. And look at Zolak. Quarterback, head cheerleader, instant legend, the legacy of Joe Montana. Does he have it all or what?
He has really got it going here today. And as I mentioned, I don't think that you can say enough about how a quarterback has an effect over his football team.
Patriots had one rushing touchdown coming into the game. They've had 3 in the first half. Bauman trying to stretch the lead to 24 right up the gut. You've got 2 minutes, 48 seconds to go before halftime. Already, Scott Zolak and the Patriots lead it 24-0.
Scott Zolak, at the end of this play, he's over there talking about, hey, how you like me now? Huh? How you like me now? This team's up 24 points.
Well, this is amazing stuff. Charlie Bauman kicks it away. Eric McMillan fields it for the Jets and falls down inside his 20 at the 18-yard line. Todd Collins down the field to make the special team stop for the Patriots, who have had the football for 18 minutes, 44 seconds to fewer than 9 minutes so far for the Jets. First half possessions for the Patriots, and the last 2 of those 5 possessions began after interceptions by the Patriots against Browning Nagel of the Jets. Nagel has seen all 4 of his pass attempts arrive in the arms of other players, 2 to his teammates and 2 to the Patriots. Patriots defensive front finds Agnew, Goad, and Williams back on the field. They stepped out in the last series. On first down, Nagel throws into the flat, and Freeman McNeil is blasted by number 37, Maurice Hurst, reacting quickly, as they say, from the corner.
Browning Nagel in a tough spot, as you see Freeman McNeil, who was just blasted on this play. Nagel trying to go downfield, nobody open, so he goes to his safety valve, who is Freeman McNeil, but just as he takes that shot, he also takes a shot right in the ribs by Maurice Hurst.
And now the trainers are out to look at Freeman McNeil, and the Jets can't afford to lose the tailback because Blair Thomas was deactivated before the game because of his groin muscle and hip flexor injuries. McNeil started in Thomas's place, and if he gets hurt, the only remaining tailback on the Jet roster is the recently re-signed veteran Johnny Hector.
And Johnny Hector is in shape. I went out and watched him practice one day last week, and he's been keeping himself in shape, working out every single day, which I know is a little bit different than actually playing in a game, but they feel very confident, the Jet coaching staff, that Hector, because he played on this team, knows the plays, knows the system, that he can come in and he can be very effective.
And he's a real pro who can run, block, and catch.
Catching would be the onus here because they're going to have to throw the ball to try to get back in the game, which is what Freeman McNeil does so well, coming out of the backfield, able to get open.
I'm sorry if we won't get to see Freeman play the rest of the way because I have to love his running style. There's just something so fluid about Freeman McNeil.
He has not lost any of his quickness, and you know, he never really had great straightaway speed, but Freeman can fake 7 or 8 people out on one move anytime he gets to that secondary, and he's the leader of this team. It's a very young team. Freeman, one of the guys here that they look to for leadership and also for his ability to play. Here you see this hit, and it's just a shot right there in the ribs. You put yourself in a dangerous situation when you look back to try to catch the ball.
And Hurst smiling as he comes off the field. He knows the price you pay for playing in the National Football League. Hey, you talked about a leader on this team. Let's face it. Over the course of the past 2.5 years, he's been a leader for every player in the National Football League.
Yeah, he certainly has, and you see the respect that he has afforded as he goes off the field. Each one of the New England Patriots going over to say something to, he's just a wonderful guy, Freeman McNeil.
6 defensive backs for the Patriots now as the Jets face second down 10 after the incompletion on first down. Rob Moore and Terrence Mathis are the double wideouts to the top and bottom of the screen. Receivers in the slot as well. Nagel throws And a wide open number 87, or 82, I should say, Rob Carpenter, drops the football with Maurice Hurst lingering nearby.
Rob Carpenter, a player who had his leg broken in a car accident, has a steel rod in it. A lot of the people thought he would never play again. Now I'm thinking of Dale Dawkins. Dale Dawkins was the player who broke his leg, and Bobby Reese was telling me he thought he'd never play again, and he's back, activated today.
Hasn't seen action so far, though. No, Carpenter was a Plan B pickup from New England, Ahmad. That's what you're thinking about him.
And a former teammate of Rob Moore.
Third down 10. Nagel throws complete to number 87, Chris Burkett. And Burkett, last year's Jet most valuable player because of his contributions on special teams as well as a receiver, has about a 9-yard pickup. Looks like they're going to be 1 yard short of the first down.
First down.
Like I said, first down. Just as I was telling you.
You see Bruce Coslin in conference with his quarterback, Browning Nagel. They're going to have to start throwing the ball down the field.
Here's the first down catch by Burkett.
Browning Nagel with a fine throw and a fine catch there by Burkett.
Well, he didn't have the first down there, and I guess they ruled that he didn't step out of bounds when he got up and moved forward for it. 2-minute warning in Foxborough Stadium. The shocking score, 24-0 New England.
Tough receiver. Runs those short routes a lot like Al Toon.
Third down 3. And Nagel this time with a flag down behind the line of scrimmage gets the football for first down yardage to number 82, Rob Carpenter. Dion Lambert made the stop, and the crowd cheers as the initial indication is against the Jets.
Holding, number 66 to the offense, 10 yards, still third down.
There comes a time when you have to hold in order to keep your quarterback healthy.
And it was Dave Cadigan, fifth-year player out of Southern Cal, first-round draft choice of the Jets back in '88, who was guilty of the hold. So now it becomes third down, 12 yards to go. Nagel, 4 for 9, 29 yards, 2 interceptions so far. Plenty of time, and he wants to go all the way into a crowd, and it is caught and then dropped after the hit by Burkett. And the call is going to be interference.
Chris Burkett with a fine play on the ball. Almost came up with the catch. It looked like it was thrown in the middle of 3 red jerseys, and Burkett just knifed in the middle and almost made the catch, but able to get the call.
Pass interference, defense, number 28, first down.
Well, it's an interesting call only because Burkett made a perfect catch on the ball.
He really did. Right here, you can see Burkett right on the ball, goes up, and I don't see the pass interference on Burkett.
On the other receiver. They said that Dion Lambert interfered with number 82, Rob Carpenter. Carpenter was well beyond the flight of the ball. Interesting call.
That's what happens when you play the player, not the ball.
On the 23-yard line, Nagel almost had it picked off again. Burkett was the intended receiver. Rod Smith was the man who flirted with the football and ultimately let it fall to the turf.
9 times out of 10, when a receiver misses the ball and it bounces off his shoulder pads up in the air, 9 times out of 10, it's an interception going the other way. I had an old coach used to say, if you're going to miss it, knock it down. Don't knock it up. Like you had some choice in the matter. You see the ball go up, almost picked off. The Jets needing desperately to score here before halftime.
It was number 48, Randy Robbins, who hit the receiver from behind and forced the football up into the air. Nagel on second down. Releases, and the catch is made by Burkett in the flat. David Poole on the coverage, but Burkett had come back to the football away from Poole, and it's relatively harmless as a 5-yard gain.
Browning Nagel with a lot of time to throw the ball, able to pick up a receiver. He told us that, you know, he's learning every single snap of the football. He's learning, you know, how to play that position of quarterback.
Never once today, Ahmad, will I tell you that Browning has a rifle arm. Never once.
You already told me about the guy named Saab.
his motor was running. 3rd down 5 for the Jets. And the give is to Pat Chafee. And Chafee trying to get it to the chain, maybe about a half-yard short. Then again, the last time I said that, of course, they were well beyond the 1st down marker. Jerome Henderson is the man who flipped Chafee up into the air. Timeout on the field is of the short variety. And now it's a full timeout.
Just an underneath draw play to Chafee as he turns it inside, gets flipped up in the air, trying to reach that 1st down marker. As we mentioned earlier, the Jets needing badly to score before halftime to try to get back in this football game. The one thing they don't want to do is go into halftime with no points.
Timeouts remaining, 2 for each team. You can see that there's a minute 4 before halftime as Coslett chats with his chosen quarterback, Browning Nagel. Coming into this season, there was ostensibly a quarterback competition for the Jets between Nagel and the longtime incumbent Ken O'Brien. But many believe that Coslett simply made up his mind in the offseason when Nagel stayed in New York to work with him on fundamentals, reading defenses, and the kind of continued development which is necessary for him to become a legitimate quarterback in the NFL.
Well, one of the things that happens with that, it was a pretty good decision by Bruce Coslett, because now he has a quarterback like Ken O'Brien coming off the sideline. Ken O'Brien has probably got to be maybe the best backup quarterback in the league, having been a starter at one time.
Certainly has as much starting experience as any other backup you can find, with the possible exception of Jim McMahon.
Certainly gives you a strong position, a strong situation at that quarterback position, that if anything does happen to Nagel, you go with a veteran like Ken O'Brien.
9th play of the drive that started for the Jets at the 18-yard line comes on 4th and a half yard to go for the 1st down. Brad Baxter is the lone setback behind Nagel. Frontline defenders in the game for New England. Play fake. Nagel goes for the touchdown to Moore and overthrows him at the goal line. Flag down on the field. Did the Jets catch a major break here? They sure did.
5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Boy, they dodged a bullet on that one, because it was an excellent play call. Very nice play call by Bruce Coslett. They had Rob Moore wide open. Nagel just not able to deliver the ball on time.
So you're telling me that Browning, he of the rifle arm, dodged a bullet?
Dodged a bullet.
I think we've carried it too far already.
He could have lowered his sights a little bit on that last pass.
No.
It would have been right in Rob Moore's hands.
In this weather, he may need infrared. It'll be 1st down goal from the 9-yard line now, after the offside penalty gives the Jets a 1st down on the 4th down try. All the time in the world for Nagel. No one open. And the Patriots suddenly defending like wild men. Andre Tippett finally forces the Jet QB out of bounds.
And Irv Eatman going wild down there, thinking that Browning Nagel was tackled a little bit too hard once he was out of bounds. And Irv Eatman says he feels like he is Browning's personal protector. If you watch the end of this play here, Browning Nagel going down the sideline. He's out of bounds now and still pounded down to the ground by Andre Tippett.
Tippett gets credit for his 3rd sack of the season, the 10th by the Patriots as a team. Only 10 sacks as a team all year. Tippett in his career has had 87 and a half of them now. 2nd down. Nagel to Burkett. Randy Robbins with the sure tackle knocks Burkett out of bounds at the 9.
Driven out of bounds by Randy Robbins.
30 seconds left. Plenty of time for the Jets. 2 more chances, and I don't know. If they don't get it in on this play, do you think field goal just to get points on the board?
You have to get some points on the board. You just don't want to go into the locker room with nothing.
Is Kenny O'Brien in the game? No. He's warming up. Yes. So Nagel on 3rd down goes end zone and almost has it picked off, throwing behind a receiver who never saw the ball. It was Burkett.
certainly double coverage on Burkett. He had a man in front of him and behind him. If you see Burkett, number 87, there's a man in front and behind. Just not the right receiver to throw the ball to, as we see the Jets preparing to go for the 3 points.
And it is Gary Blanchard who comes on to kick it for the Jets. Blanchard, the midseason pickup who has rejuvenated the Jet kicking game after Jason Starosky won a preseason battle with Raul Alegre and then couldn't get the job done in the regular season. From 27 yards out, Blanchard gets it through. So the Jets are off the schneid, trailing 24-3 with 22 seconds to go in the first half against New England. And all in all, despite the long drive there by New York, the half remains an unmitigated triumph for the Patriots. Coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Bob Costas will bring us scores and highlights from all the other games around the NFL today. A long walk and a careful talk between Browning Nagel and head coach Bruce Costas.
That's his man, Browning Nagel.
I'm sure this is the last position they would have expected to find themselves in at this juncture, Ahmad. Most points in the first half for the Patriots since 1986 versus the Steelers.
They got a taste of that winning last week, and it's carried over. They kind of like that because they come in here playing extremely hard.
You know, a week ago when they won, they gave game balls to Jon Vaughn, the running back, and Dick McPherson, the hospitalized head coach. I wonder what Zolak has to do to get himself a game ball here.
He doesn't want one. He's got that ball from Joe Montana.
Right. He's got the Montana ball.
No game ball.
That thing about rubbing it 16 times, he would have liked to have been number 13 here, but the number was already taken by Tommy Hodgson. That story just wouldn't have the same mystique if his number was 2, would it?
No, or if it was 99.
Well, then it'd have more mystique, but I'm not sure he'd do it.
He has certainly been the story in this game, playing extremely well.
Louis Aguiar kicking it off to Jon Vaughn and Walter Stanley. Bouncing kick is taken by Stanley. Across the 20. And a good downfield tackle muffles Stanley just outside the 25-yard line. So with 16 seconds left, the Patriots bring their awesome running game and incomparable quarterback Scott Zolak onto the field. Pat Shafee was the man downfield to make the tackle for the Jets.
The Patriots in the National Football League is now on sale in the Concourse.
Speaking a little bit tongue-in-cheek about the running game and the QB, but certainly in the first half, they have been all of that. First time in 4 years that the Patriots have had 3 rushing touchdowns in a game. As I told you, they had only 1 all season coming into this half of football.
Everybody on this team has played well, but Zolak has been the catalyst. He's the one that's got them going.
And John Stevens takes the honor of getting the clock running, and now the Patriots will leave the field. Kyle Clifton made the stop. It has been a near-perfect first half for New England.
And they know you can't run the in their ears back and just keep coming at you.
Louis Aguiar to punt again. Walter Stanley stands at his 15-yard line. Aguiar has been hitting line drives and giving Stanley a chance to take return. Big punt, and the Jets have first down yardage. Number 28 is Pat Shafee. Big play player. He got a game ball last week with some clutch runs in the fourth quarter that helped to seal the 17-14 victory over Cincinnati. And Shafee, one of the firier Jets players, tries to ignite them here.
Al Roberts, the special teams coach for the New York Jets, comes up with this play. And what do you have to lose at this point? You've got to try to get your team fired up. You got to try something. So that was a very good call by the Jets, and also afforded them a first down.
It was a short snap to Shafee, who was up in the block position, and he got the yardage necessary for the first down. They're at the 42-yard line of New England now. Nagel, play fake on first down, wants to go deep. Now has to think of other things, and finally lets it go to the goal line, where it is batted away. Number 48 is Randy Robbins, there with the defense on Burkett.
A fine job by the New York Jets offensive line of giving Nagel time to find the receiver. But by the time he tried to deliver the ball, Great reaction by Randy Robbins to knock this ball down. Comes right in right at the end, knocks it away. But Nagel having a lot of time to throw the ball.
Randy Robbins, years under Joe Collier when Collier was the defensive coordinator at Denver. Now in the twilight of his career, Collier brings him here in New England, and he saves a touchdown there. Hector and Baxter behind Nagel on 2nd down 10. Jets throwing almost every down. Ball is batted into the air and away, intended for Baxter. Agnew and number 75, Irv Eatman, chatting with one another. Eatman, as you mentioned, has become the unofficial marshal for the Jets.
I guarantee they weren't talking about having dinner together either.
Well, no, because Eatman is taking the Jets team plane back to New York tonight.
There you see Browning Nagel trying to go over the top to Baxter, just not able to hold it. Maybe just a little bit too much on that ball. But in this situation, you need to throw the ball down the field.
That should be in the game as a setback behind Nagel now on 3rd down 10. Browning Nagel, 1 of 6 in the air in the second half. 7 of 19 for the game. And a flag goes down as the Jets will be called for delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And I think we never dreamed we'd say this, Ahmad, but crowd noise is becoming a factor here in the rain in New England.
That certainly is. This crowd. Now, they were emotionally charged also from the beginning, right from the beginning of this game. The last time we were up here last year, or last time I was here last year, it was silent.
Well, they were here to see the incredible Zolak.
And he has not disappointed them.
On 3rd down, Nagel out of the pocket again, flags down in the secondary. As Browning goes to the goal line, it's picked off by Jerome Henderson. Henderson looking for running room across the 15, across the 20. Now, which way does the penalty go? That becomes the next question. You have to suspect holding in the New England defensive secondary, but it could be another way.
Johnny Mitchell is claiming that he was held on the play. The rookie tight end for the New York Jets.
There's Henderson. He's the man who had the interception and a 23-yard return. It would be the 3rd pick of the game for New England against Nagel if the play stands. But I got a feeling that Johnny Mitchell's right, and we've got a defensive hold here.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Holding number 27 of the defense. Holding number 66 of the offense. Penalties offset. 3rd down.
So we'll play 3rd and 15 one more time for the Jets at the 47 of New England.
69 offense. Holding.
That was Jeff Criswell with his 2nd flag of the day for the Jets.
And Browning Nagel being in such a tough spot for a young quarterback, to where he has just he's got to make something happen to get his team back in this ball game. And that's the kind of pressure you don't want to put on a young quarterback.
Safety is a setback behind Nagel, or with Nagel, I should say, in the shotgun. Browning looks, throws, and bounces it to number 82, Rod Carpenter. Rod Smith was there on the coverage, and New England holds. Aguiar will come on to punt again.
Once again, Nagel trying to fire the ball to Carpenter, and it was ruled that the ball bounced into his hands.
Well, I guess it was a catchable throw, but he couldn't keep it off the turf. Aguiar and his numbers are there. Walter Stanley is at the 15-yard line.
The very dangerous Walter Stanley.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah, as soon as you start to let up a little bit, he's one of those type of return men that can find the seam and go.
He's with the Packers and the Lions. Picked up in Plan B by the Patriots, and he makes the fair catch at the 13-yard line. Flags down again. 33-yard punt, no return. Dennis Price was the man downfield on coverage, and here is Dale Hamer.
Illegal hands to the face on the receiver, following the kick, post-possession foul, 10 yards for the spotted change of possession. Timeout.
So that will pin the Patriots back inside their 10-yard line and create an opportunity for the Jets defense to do something when we come back. Foxborough Stadium, 5 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the third. Patriots leading 24-3 and starting offensively with double tight ends from their 7-yard line. Pryor in motion. Give us to Jon Vaughn, and another big hole for Vaughn. And 9 more yards on the ground before Mo Lewis makes the stop. What a job the Patriot offensive line has done today.
And the Patriot offensive coordinator with this play calling. His play calling has just been exceptional the entire day. They really have come up with the plays and the execution that have them in the lead, 24-3. Jon Vaughn doing an excellent job running behind that blocking.
And, of course, their offensive coordinator is only one of the nicest men in pro football, Dick Curry.
Dick Curry.
And there is Vaughn more than doubling the Jets' rushing output today. This time Pryor in motion to the top of the screen. Vaughn picking his way. And he is wrapped up by Lonnie Young at the line of scrimmage. No team has safeties which play more aggressively against the run than the Jets with Lonnie Young and Brian Washington.
And sometimes with a runner like Jon Vaughn, though, when you have safeties that are right up there on the line, once he breaks that line of scrimmage, there's nobody back there to stop him. And he's such an excellent cutback runner that he's able to avoid those safeties coming up to force and finding a way to get into that defensive secondary.
Jon Vaughn, one of the small army of quick-footed runners to come out of Michigan in recent years. They've got another one in Tyrone Wheatley. Michael Timpson now in the game, goes to the top of the screen along with Greg McMurtry. Pryor is to the bottom as Zolak calls on 3rd and 1 and gives to Stevens, and Stevens has first down yardage and plenty more across the 30 to the 35-yard line. And you talk about play calling. Defense was keying on Vaughn, the tailback. Stevens came back to the other side, misdirection from the fullback slot.
I'm going to show you what a stiff arm is here, Jim. Watch. There's one right there. Just stiff arms Lonnie Young, and he's off to the races. A big, strong, powerful, fast back. They really have an excellent 1-2 punch. And I say that thinking that they've only won 1 game all year, but they finally, obviously, put this whole thing together with some quality football players in John Stevens and Jon Vaughn.
And now Stevens goes to the sideline, and rookie Kevin Turner comes in to pick up the slack for him. It was a 19-yard gain for Stevens on the 3rd down play. Zolak throwing on 1st down. Patriots trying to put this thing away, but he holds on to the football against good coverage and is stopped about a yard short of the line of scrimmage. It'll count as a sack for the Jets.
Zolak here not looking for a short pass. He's looking way down the field trying to find a receiver. Can't find one and puts the ball away and takes off running. Watch him try to stretch it here just a little bit, get all he can get out of that thing. You know, the thing impresses me when you see 3rd string quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, like come in with all the plays written on their wristband. Zolak will have none of that. He's the quarterback. He's in control of this offense.
That was the 47th sack allowed this season by the Patriots, but it was the first one today. On 2nd down 11. Zolak throws in the flat to Vaughn, and he drops the football when hit by Brian Washington.
Brian Washington come up and just unloaded on Jon Vaughn. I'm sure there was a little bit of frustration involved in all of that. Jon Vaughn being the main culprit that's been taking advantage of this Jet team the entire game. You watch Jon Vaughn on the play fake, number 24, just stops outside. Now watch this hit right here. Puts in, he wants to talk about him a little bit. A little trash talking here in the NFL.
Borrowing a page from your buddies in the NBA.
That's right.
Zolak out of the shotgun on 3rd down 11. Flags flying everywhere. So it's a free play for somebody. Stevens breaks a tackle, has first down yardage, and is almost all the way out to midfield. 16-yard pickup for the Patriots. Now let's see if the flag is against New England. We believe it's a false start for Pat Harlow, number 77.
John Stevens is a load once he starts running. If you try to tackle him up above his hips, you just can't bring him down. You got to hit him down in the leg area.
You know, they list him at only 215 pounds. But he looks heavier the way he plays out there.
He looks like he's more like 230 pounds, 235 pounds. And he hits like he's 230, 35 pounds.
And they still list him at 215. We'll give him every opportunity to change that after this.
Ball start on the left tackle. There is no play, no play. The defense came into the zone. The offense set up. Therefore, we'll repeat third down. Put 6 seconds on the clock. 2:03 on the clock. Thank you.
Number 77, Pat Harlow there. You see him just move before the ball is snapped.
Well, and you can see why Gunn was stunning him into moving like that, and I thought Gunn was in the neutral zone, Ahmad.
It certainly looked like that. There's such a fine line in that neutral zone. I think it goes with your reputation. If you have a reputation as a sacker, then they sort of give you a little, maybe a little bit more.
That's right. If you have a reputation for getting illegal procedure penalties.
And you get it immediately.
Tight ends out of the game. 4 wide receivers in on what is now 3rd and 15. Zolak hit as he released. Free ball for the Jets. 2 men going for it. Washington and Fraze. And neither can get it.
One of the few times that this New York Jet team has been able to put pressure on Zolak.
It's James Hasty who's going to come in
and get a chance. Here comes Hasty right there at the end and get a chance for an interception and just not able to pull it off. You see Zolak pumping and then trying to get rid of it. Hasty hits his arm, knocks it up in the air, and too many Jets trying to catch it.
Fraze and Washington looking at each other saying, but.
You may have to defer to the defensive back in that position because Fraze is a man that has not touched the ball very often.
Yeah, it's the old center fielder coming in, second baseman going out situation. Sean McCarthy on to kick it away for the Patriots. See his numbers on the day, and that is Rob Carpenter, not Terrence Mathis. I'll get that right this time.
Nor Dale Dawkins.
Carpenter at his 30-yard line. McCarthy's punt is exceptionally high and fair caught at the 22-yard line. So the Jets will have 78 yards to go, still looking for their first touchdown of the game when we come back. 1:35 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the task gets increasingly difficult for the New York Jets. They trailed 24-3 at halftime, and still they trail 24-3. Starting this possession from the 22-yard line. Edwards, Hobby, and Sproles, backup defensive linemen on the field for the Patriots. Johnny Hector is the lone setback behind Browning Nagel. And Hector has the football and good yardage across the 25 to about the 28 before Vincent Brown made the stop for New England.
This is a good start. I mean, when you get in a situation like this, they expect you to pass the ball. The trick is to just keep moving those chains. Try to do something positive. You don't want to always get in there like when you're that far behind, like you just got a ragtag offense. You want to just get in there and do things positive and try to move the ball down the field. If you look at the total yards there, New England 273, the Jets 102.
161 rush yards for New England. Early in the season, that would have been a pretty good 2-game output for them. Hector again with the football on 2nd down, and he's close to the 1st down across the 30 to about the 33. Vincent Brown again with the tackle.
This kind of running attack makes Browning Nagel so much more effective. It's just impossible for a young quarterback like this in a passing situation with the other team knowing you have to pass, trying to go back and be successful. If you can trick them up a little bit, change them up just a little bit, and run the ball every now and then you got a much better chance of being successful on your passes.
Could be the last play of quarter number 3. Again, apparently checking off the line of scrimmage. Moore in motion behind him. And Hector has a couple of yards only before Brown and Tim Edwards make the stop for New England. And that's it. Third quarter comes to a close. Patriots still lead 24-3. Scott Zolak sitting back. We're back after these messages from your local station. The Patriots believe they may be getting as the fourth quarter begins, and they look for their second consecutive win.
Zolak is certainly getting respect with a capital R. He has really shown me something this afternoon.
Browning Nagel fakes on second down 7 and looks deep for Rob Moore. And Moore is well covered by Maurice Hurst. And once again, the second time in this half, Moore finds himself battling Hurst to prevent an interception.
Maurice Hurst doing a fine job with Rob Moore. He has been covering him the entire game. The ball a little bit underthrown, but sometimes that is the advantage to the receiver because you can make a stop and come back and try to make a play on the ball. But Hurst doing an excellent job covering a bigger, stronger Rob Moore on that pass pattern. Those are the kind of things I don't think the Jets want to get caught up trying to do that too much. You want to try to set up a play where you can send the receiver deep.
Browning Nagel 1 of 8 for 18 yards in the second half. Make it 2 completions and make it a first down for the Jets as Johnny Hector, the old pro, gets a 9-yard pickup and first down yardage. Meanwhile, there's a flag down. All the way on the far side of the field. Holding against the Patriots.
The red guy.
Holding, number 22 of the defense. He's declined. First down.
Rod Smith
Was holding Chris Burkett on that last play and got caught.
The 46.
There's Joe Collier, Patriot defensive coordinator. One of the old and trusted hands at defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Gentleman Joe Collier.
Worked with Red Miller at Denver when Miller was the head coach there. Nagel on first down. Plenty of time, deep again. And this time, Moore gets a hand on it. Tim Gordon was back as the defender.
It's just so hard to try to complete a ball like this. You need another option down the field. You see Rob Moore with a nice swim technique, stays away from the middle of the field, and sort of just, you know, one thing you never do is you never slow down on a pattern, ever. You just keep going as fast as you can. When you slow down, that's about the time that the guy gets ready to throw you the ball. Nagel gets a little shot there by Edwards, just to let him know that he was nearby.
Why would Moore have slowed down on the pattern?
I don't know. You don't. That's one of the things you don't do. You never slow down on a route. I think he thought he was out of the pattern.
Second down 10. Nagel tosses, and number 82, Rob Carpenter, get away from one tackle, gets first down yardage into New England territory at about the 43-yard line before Maurice Hurst makes the stop. It's a 12-yard gain and another Jet first down.
Nice little run by Carpenter after the catch. He comes up and just a drag pattern underneath the defense, makes the catch. Now here comes a very nice move here. Little left, right, left. And he left the defender on the ground.
Yeah, that was Roger Brown, the reserve strong safety who is in the game. So it is first down again for the Jets. Now with the ball in New England territory. Johnny Hector with the football. Baxter trying to block for him. Hector has a pickup of about 3. It'll be second down 7. Andre Tippett and Marion Hobby on the stop for New England.
The Jets trying to chip away here. Johnny Hector was at home down in Louisiana, said he kept himself in shape. And when he got the call, he was ready to come back and play. And probably didn't figure he was going to get this much playing time today, but with the injury to Blair Thomas and Freeman McNeil, Johnny Hector's the man.
No doubt a good move. There were other running backs available, but the Jets wanted somebody who knew their system.
Fit right back in perfectly.
Second down 7. Hector again with the ball. Johnny Hector getting an unexpected workload today in the absence of Blair Thomas. He was not active for the game. And Freeman McNeil, who went down in the second quarter with bruised ribs. Tim Edwards made the stop for New England. It'll be third down for New York.
The middle of the field is starting to get chewed up a little bit. You see Johnny Hector trying to make a cut and not able, slipping a little bit. As we mentioned, it's not raining now, but it was raining a lot earlier, and the middle of the field got a little bit muddy.
There's Blair Thomas in the baseball cap, watching and waiting, looking up the scoreboard. He knows that it's the 10th play of a drive that began on the Jet 23. Shafee gets the handoff from Nagel, and Shafee is short of the first down as the Jets didn't fool Ray Agnew and the rest of the Patriot defensive front with that play.
Big Ray Agnew having an excellent game here today. You know, when you're in a situation like that, you got to know where that first down marker is. That was one of the bigger plays in the game. You must try to get that first down by any means necessary.
Brent Williams being helped off the field and limping. Starting defensive end for the Pats.
Bruce Coslet going for it on fourth down, not really having a choice.
Yeah, it's fourth down about 1.5 yards, and you're right. They've got virtually no choice with 11:53 to go, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Baxter is the setback behind Nagel. Nagel up under center on 4th and 1.5 yards. Fake to Baxter. Nagel almost falls down. Got a man open for the moment, and it's a touchdown. 85, Rob Moore finally gets behind Maurice.
I really don't know, you know, how the holding was on White. It didn't look like holding to me.
That sure didn't. Nagel is blasted. That is Jon Lambert on the corner blitz. For New England, it couldn't have come at a better time for them. The Jets were trying again on 4th down, and this time Joe Collier decided that his defense would be the aggressor.
It's almost impossible in a situation like that where the defensive team knows you're going to pass the ball and you're going to be successful. If you just watch, here we're coming from the outside, just too much pressure on Browning Nagel.
Jon Lambert with the sack. Pates still lead.
Holding was 63.
Found a way to fight their way through it, so they feel like having gone through a season like this, it's going to pay dividends in the years to come, because guys will look back and say, hey, we've been there before, we don't want to get there again. But it certainly has got to try the patience of not only fans, but I'm sure the players alike.
And on 2nd down 10, Scott Zolak elects to call a timeout and be sure of what he's doing, rather than to take any chances with the 3-touchdown lead. We'll be back. You can hear the music through our effects microphones, but there's a party going on in Foxborough, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Jets aren't dancing.
If you're a Patriot fan and you've got a chance to get here within the next 10 minutes, 36 seconds.
Second down, 11.
Unlikely, but come on in. Scott Zolak on 2nd and 10. One of his few misplays of the day, throwing behind tight end Marv Cook.
Sunday, December 6th against the Indianapolis.
Smiling Zolak says, don't you worry about a thing, I'll be fine.
Scott Zolak has created a quarterback controversy here in New England.
How about that?
It's going to be a tough decision next week as to who should start, because Millen was supposed to rest this week and then start the next week. They keep saying that you cannot lose your starting position due to injury. But if you look at it, Millen was, what, 0-7?
Yeah.
And Zolak has been he's still a little early. He's about to be 2-0. I don't know how you deal with that.
Zolak on 3rd down holds on to the football rather than to make a dangerous throw, and takes his 2nd sack of the day. Back at the 50-yard line. So the punter,
Bring up a 4th down.
Sean McCarthy, will come on to kick it away for New England. And the Jets will get the football back, only trailing by 3 touchdowns with 10:15 to go and the clock running.
We just got word that Browning Nagel is suffering from a bruised left shoulder. And
Rob Carpenter at the 11-yard line. So Nichols' return is questionable.
It's questionable, yes.
Could that mean Ken O'Brien? Oh, terrible snap over McCarthy's head. Jets get a big opportunity here, and McCarthy allows the touchdown. He fails to touch Eric McMillan as McMillan sails through and takes the football on into the end zone. This is the second consecutive week in which McCarthy has made a horrible play to allow a touchdown by the opposition.
Kicking team, receiving team. Backward pass cannot be advanced by the recovering team.
Aha, and now they're going to tell us this fumble cannot be advanced.
They called it a backwards pass.
For the Jets.
But I tell you what, McMillan scooped that sucker up and was gone with it. Usually you see people trying to get the handle on it and they can never touch it. McMillan had scooped that thing without even missing a beat.
Yep, he thought he had the TD, but no, cannot be advanced. It'll be Jets football when we come back.
Your base.
With 9 minutes, 51 seconds to go, Ken O'Brien enters the football game at quarterback for the New York Jets as they take possession at the 25-yard line of the Patriots. And immediately, O'Brien completes for 6 yards to Rob Moore, Vincent Brown making the tackle. The ruling on the bad punt snap, Ahmad, was that the ball never touched the punter McCarthy's hands and therefore could not be advanced by McMillan. I got a feeling that our replay will show that the ball was indeed touched by McCarthy and should have been a potential touchdown for McMillan.
Well, it was ruled a backwards pass, and a backwards pass cannot be advanced. The official statistician ruled it a backwards pass.
Second down 4 after the 6-yard Ken O'Brien completion on first down. And now O'Brien throws in the flat to number 87, Chris Burkett. And Burkett is brought down by David Poole at the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Jets.
Making the tackle.
Here's another look.
And it was ruled a backwards pass. And a backwards pass cannot be advanced.
Impossible to tell from that replay whether McCarthy touched the ball. Maybe, in fact, he didn't. Meanwhile, David Poole is down and being examined by New England trainers, and we'll be back right after this. Trailing 24-3, have first and goal at the 5-yard line shortly after the entry of Ken O'Brien into the game in place of the now injured Browning Nagel. And O'Brien goes down under Andre Tippett. And while the first 2 throws were quite accurate and therefore typical of O'Brien's career, so in fact was this. Flag down.
It's very hard to throw a ball with somebody in your face. And this is exactly what's happening right here. O'Brien trying to find a receiver downfield. Nobody blocks Andre Tippett.
Brady through the offense. Runs decline. Third down.
Penalty decline. Patriots want O'Brien to face third down. Or make it second down, I should say. Second and goal from the 11-yard line.
Penalty was on Johnny Mitchell, who is a project. Came out of school early, and Coffin has been working with him. Has said he has a lot of talent.
O'Brien throws out of the end zone and well past the back line on second and goal. Johnny Mitchell was the intended receiver, and he had drawn a crowd along the back line.
He certainly, I think a few people have heard about Johnny Mitchell. He's one of the fellows that was complaining about not getting the ball as of late. And, you know, you have to respect a guy like that, a young kid coming in like this and wanting to play, wanting the ball. I think you don't want to really discourage a guy like that. You want a receiver to want opportunities to catch the ball, as opposed to somebody coming in and saying, well, hey, don't throw it to me.
But Browning Nagel criticized him in print Monday and Tuesday for saying that he felt he should have gotten to the ball more. Nagel, in fact, went so far to say, hey, he'd have gotten it if he'd run his routes right. Third down goal from the 11-yard line. O'Brien trying to get the first Jet touchdown of the game. Underthrows in the corner intended for a well-covered Rob Moore. And as you can see, David Poole was okay. He stayed in the game after being shaken up. He was there to cover Moore.
We can't say enough about this defensive effort by the New England Patriots. They have just played an excellent game, both offensively and defensively. They've not allowed the Jets to really get into the flow of anything right from the start of the game. Jets not able to run the ball, not able to throw the ball.
And the Patriots, who had 9 sacks for the year coming in, have collected 4 today, Ahmad. 2 of them by Tippett. Fourth and goal for the Jets from the 11-yard line. the setback. O'Brien up under center. Triple wide receivers. Tippett showing blitz. Now curls to the outside. Fade in the corner. Way overthrown. No chance.
Patriots holding the ball. 32 yards.
Ken O'Brien looking for the fade pattern to Rob Moore, just overthrows it. Even if he didn't overthrow it, very good coverage over there by the New England Patriots.
This David Poole is having one whale of a game at corner.
David Poole told us the other day that he has a book on the receivers around the league, and he goes to that book. He watches a lot of film.
Gets advice from Gil Bird, who plays for San Diego.
That's right. And with all that speed, he has a chance to really make a few mistakes. But when you run a 4.340, you can still get back into the play, even if you do make a mistake.
Patriots take over at their 11-yard line and try to run some clock off. It has been much slower going in the second half for Jon Vaughn than was the case in the first half, but that's largely because the Jets know what's coming now. Houston Oilers falling to Miami earlier today. Oilers dropped to 6-5, clearly in playoff jeopardy, and they'll be visiting the Lions 5 days from now, Thursday. Make NBC Sports part of your Thanksgiving Day festivities when we present a football feast for the entire family beginning at 12 p.m. Eastern Time with NFL Live. Then you'll see Lorenzo White and the Oilers trying to stay in the race for the playoffs, taking on the explosive Barry Sanders and his Detroit Lions. 12 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Don't miss it. The Mike Utley feature from Gail Gardner, Utley's return to the Silverdome, all that on Thanksgiving Day. On second down, Vaughn again gets the call for the Patriots and very short yardage. It will be third down long, and you have to suspect that at this point, Zolak might consider the draw play, or rather the offensive staff might consider giving Zolak the draw play. They might consider not even throwing the ball at this position.
Let me ask you this and have you consider this. Why is it that Detroit always plays so well on Thanksgiving?
Because they're the only ones who know for sure year in and year out that they're going to play on Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Probably they're having a game at their house and they invite you over.
That's right, yeah. It's our game. You want to come play? It's your turn. On third down, they go with the draw play. Let's dispel any notion right now that I am the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. That play did come from their staff.
Obviously just trying to be safe with it. Hopefully, I mean, those plays have worked earlier in the game, but maybe just getting some room for them to punt the ball.
It was a 4-yard gain for Stevens, and now Sean McCarthy will stand at his goal line and hope for a better snap than the one he saw the last time. Carpenter at the 44-yard line for the Jets. Jets block a lot of kicks. And the key man there is Burkett, number 87. See if the Patriots have picked him up. A lot of stunting for the Jets. They are clearly trying for the block, but they don't get there. And so Carpenter fumbles the football away. Red jerseys all around it. It'll be Patriots ball at the 46-yard line. Dion Lambert, the man who had the fourth down sack of Nagel that knocked him out of the game, has the fumble recovery for New England. And you can smell that coming because Carpenter, with the Jets going for the block, was all alone back there and thinking of the tough coverage.
He also was thinking about trying to make something happen. And in a game like this, you're behind by that much. He feels these people in front of him. He just thinks that if he can get by this first flow, he may have something going, but he can't get by the first flow.
It looked like number 47, the reserve safety, Roger Brown, who knocked the football out of Carpenter's arm as he went by. Third Jet turnover of the game. The first two were Nagel interceptions in the first half, both of which set up New England scores. And special teams coach Al Roberts shakes his head as he walks away from Carpenter, having told him how to avoid that in the future. On first down, Stevens gets the call from fullback and plows forward for almost 4 yards. And the Jets call timeout to stop the clock.
Gil Bird being restrained.
No, that's Dennis Bird.
Dennis Bird. Gil Bird is the one who is teaching David Poole how to play cornerback.
That's right. Telling him how to look in the backfield, breaking the coach's rule and pick off interceptions like he did last week.
Charge, timeout, New York. 40 seconds.
Now we will see if the New England Patriots can put this game on ice with their running game.
Meanwhile, we'll be back to bring you the conclusion after this.
Oldsmobile.
The story is there on the screen for you. 5:52 to go in the fourth quarter. New England on the verge of pulling a shocking upset of the New York Jets. Shocking because the Jets thought of themselves as the best 3-7 team in football. And Stevens on second down has no gain, but the clock continues to run, and now the Jets stop it with a timeout.
Best and 3-7 don't go together.
It's like an oxymoron,
That's right.
Next Saturday,
You got to take a look at this. They have some excellent players.
I have gone in years past, not working, but solely and simply just to be there as a spectator, because it's quite an occasion,
It's
socially
a party.
as well as
It's a
athletically.
party. It really is a party. I'll miss not being there, but
The music, the food, the penalty flags,
that's right. The speed with which the game is played.
all of them in abundance. Third down, 7 yards to go. Zolak out of a shotgun will throw at this position on the field. And it is a little bit low and wide and can't be caught. So, New England once again likely to kick the football away. And Zolak's incompletion potently stops the clock for the Jets, who need every possible second as they dream of a miracle finish.
Rob Carpenter will definitely either fair catch this ball. He will not be taking the chances that he took last time.
Flag down. Carpenter is going to let that one go. He saw the flag.
Marker is down.
And McCarthy kicked it into the end zone anyway. San Diego won again. Just saw that score going by on the ticker. 50-yard punt from McCarthy.
12 men on the field, and the receivers, 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 4th down.
Lucky for the Jets that it was 4th and 7, and the 12 men on the field penalty does not give New England a first down. That would have been the proverbial last straw.
That is rather embarrassing.
But the penalty is declined because New England is perfectly happy with the touchback that leaves New York beginning the series from the 20. Dante Scarnecchia still coaching as Eugene Lockhart and Dion Lambert come off the field.
Scarnecchia doing a fine job of, as we mentioned earlier, holding this team together, getting them. I mean, when you lose that many games, if they lost 7 games, that's 2 months worth of losing.
He was so emotional about getting the first win last week for absent coach Dick McPherson. They called McPherson's doctor and had him come to Logan Airport to collect the game ball that they sent to Coach Mack in the hospital. Pat Shafee on first down is swarmed under by the tide of New England defenders.
Was the ball carrier. Gordon on the stop.
Patriots giving every indication that they are not about to allow this one to slip away. And not too many people have left, startlingly, considering the weather conditions.
From the 20.
They are enjoying a much-needed victory here in Foxborough. It's been a long time since they've been able to have a party like this one.
They are the official fan club of Zolak the Magnificent. The incredible Zolak. Second down, Jets still running with the football. Shafee again wrapped up the line of scrimmage. Jets running, expecting the Patriots to be in a deep zone to prevent the pass. Patriots playing the run just as tough as if it were the first half. Goad, Agnew, and Saab all there to help with the tackle.
And Brad Baxter surprisingly missing from the lineup at this point in the game, but
well, Baxter's had another heavy work day, and Shafee is a guy who gets a lot of late game yards for the Jets, particularly when they are leading. Third down, 8 yards to go. Ken O'Brien and and the Jets. Under pressure, O'Brien delivers to Shafee, and Shafee gets out of the backfield and first down yardage out to the 35-yard line. Vincent Brown chasing Shafee down. It was a 13-yard gain.
Nice catch and run by Shafee with a nice stiff arm on Vincent Brown right at the end of that play.
First down for
Once
the
again,
Jets.
Chafee checking for a block, then releases out in the flat, catches the ball. Now here comes a nice stiff arm here on Vincent Brown. The shades of Eric Dickerson, who has one of the toughest stiff arms that I've ever seen.
First and 10 from the 35. O'Brien's throw just a little bit low and wide, intended for Rob Carpenter. Jerome Henderson there with the coverage for New England. Jets don't seem to be in a tremendous hurry here.
You know, Ken O'Brien coming in, trying to just maintain the composure. Football is one of those sports that you can never give up. You have to always continue to play it hard. There is no garbage time, as Marv Albert might say.
Clock stopped with 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. O'Brien looking downfield, decides to come short. Johnny Hector with the catch. Maurice Hurst with the resolute tackle. It'll be another third down situation for O'Brien and the Jets.
Third down.
New York Jets, one of two teams not to have won on the road. Remember, New England got its first victory on the road in Indianapolis. And Atlanta is the only other team to share that distinction with the Jets, and the Jets are not in a position to break the precedent today.
I recall not long ago that Atlanta took the California Trophy out to San Francisco. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And got shellacked.
3 of 12 on third down for the Jets so far today. Can they make it 4 of 13? No. Incomplete. And that was Dale Dawkins, who was the intended receiver, Ahmad.
And Dale Dawkins is a player who got in a car wreck, broke his leg. Bobby Reese, the trainer, told me that he was one of the people that told Dawkins that he would probably never play again. And here's the upside of that story. Here's Dawkins back in uniform, activated for today's game, and out there playing.
Only because of the misfortune of Al Toon.
And also a cousin of Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder. You remember him, don't you? Used to break backboards.
How could I forget?
The man from Lovetron.
Aguiar to punt it away for the Jets, who elect not to go for it on 4th down and 5. Walter Stanley makes a fair catch and falls down at his 12-yard line. 47-yard punt, no return. Interesting that the Jets have thrown in the towel here with 2:12 to go, as they demonstrated by choosing not to go for the first down there. After the game on NBC. Stay tuned for all new episodes of
Out of here. And obviously, that's exactly the way the Jets are feeling at this point.
A lot of reserves with relatively clean jerseys now on the field for New England. Calvin Stevens, for instance, in for Reggie Redding at the left guard spot. Stevens, though, still there to work, and he gets about a yard as the Patriots begin the possession, and now we'll have the 2-minute warning. No, Jets called timeout to stop the clock. Mo Lewis made the stop for New York.
40-second timeout. 40 seconds.
Let's check out Walter Stanley on the punt fair catch, Ahmad. Oh,
Walter
this is the dance
Stanley.
afterward.
Yeah. That's kind of a Scottish kind of thing.
Headed for the Highland Games.
It kind of looked like that, didn't it?
Did you say Scottish or Scotch?
Scottish kind of thing. He is certainly a better punt returner than he is a dancer.
There's Scott Zolak, about to become 2-0 as a Patriot quarterback. Now, Hugh Millen signed a contract this year for a $1.1 million reported base with incentives that supposedly can take it up to as much as $1.9 million a year. Scott Zolak's family would love to see him sign such a contract sometime in the future, but Millen, for the moment, is the highest paid player in the history of the New England franchise. Has he lost his starting quarterback job to Scott Zolak? For the moment, Dante Scarnecchia, we think, philosophically would say no. But what happens when Millen is healthy?
I guarantee you one thing, Zolak will never be comfortable being a third stringer again.
Not after this. 2-minute warning, 24-3 New England. We'll be back. Of the game, a Zolak pass on 4th down and 8 in the first half that set up the final New England score.
And a great play here by Zolak, waiting on Marv Cook, but watch him spin and find the open area. That's what you call getting open. And he doesn't stop there. He ends up still running for more yardage, but a huge play in this game that really got it going for New England.
Marv Cook, the 4th-year Pro Bowl tight end out of Iowa, with one of so many big plays in the first half for New England, but that one may have been seen as the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, as it helped New England stretch a 17-0 lead to 24-0 and really put the Jets in a position where they had to abandon their game plan, go away from the running game, and do something that, as it turned out, Browning-Nagel couldn't do, pass them back into the game. Zolak looking for first down yardage on 3rd and 10, and Irving Fryer sees Dennis Price come in front of him to knock the football away, and
Pass in the head, number 95, 15 yards.
And a 15-yard penalty against the Jets will give the Patriots the first down anyway.
Louis Richardson.
Not much sense in roughing 6'5", 222-pound Scott Zolak. He brushes off a lot of tackles that would bother other quarterbacks.
It's hard to brush off one of them, though, when it happens in the head, which is where he got hit.
First time a charm. You see here again the list of Patriot quarterbacks who won their first starts and then lost their second, and Scott Zolak becomes the man to break that particular pattern. Unlike Millen, Flutie, Eason, Grogan, Plunkett, he wins a second consecutive game as a starter. And there's a look at Hugh Millen. He's the one in the baseball cap. Scarnecchia says when Millen's healthy, he starts again. But as Ahmad points out, Millen hasn't won a game this year. Zolak is 2-0.
That's going to be a very tough decision.
The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NFL football, John Ferratzis. Today's Jets-Patriots game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Peter Bleckner. Associate director Raymond Smoltz. Production associate Bill Herbstman. Technical manager Alan Shear. Production manager Sally Hughes. And the technical director is Jim Johnson. And the names of the other fine NBC Sports folks who have helped to bring you this telecast from rainy, foggy Foxborough. Second down, 12 yards to go. Zolak goes down to one knee. Clock is running. Jets can no longer stop it. Statistician for today's game was Bill George, assisted by Bob Oviginian and Dave Lorenzi. Spotters Joe Pereski and Kevin Swindon. My thanks to all of them for the help they've given to Ahmad and me in keeping up with the events in this game. He's 24 years old. He's a first-year player out of Maryland. He played 1 year of varsity football as the starter at Maryland. And perhaps most indelibly, he was the water boy on Joe Montana's high school football team at Ringgold High in Monongahela, Pennsylvania, because his father was at that time the offensive coordinator. Scott Zolak, before every game he starts, will rub an autographed ball from Joe Montana 16 times to match his number. He did it again today, and for the second time he has a victory as a starting quarterback for the Patriots. We'll be back for a final wrap-up from Foxborough right after we go away for a brief series of messages. Once again, New England has beaten the Jets 24-3 on the Patriots' home turf.